Vietnam War. Subscribe. Universal Tutor. The Vietnam War was a prolonged conflict that took place from the mid-1950s to the mid-1970s. It was a complex and deeply divisive conflict that involved multiple parties and had significant international implications. Here's an overview of the Vietnam War. Background and context. 1. Vietnam was a French colony until World War II, after which it was occupied by Japan. 1. After Japan's defeat, the French sought to reassert control over their former colony, leading to a nationalist movement led by Ho Chi Minh and the establishment of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam in 1945. Key parties. North Vietnam, DRV, led by Ho Chi Minh and supported by the Soviet Union and China, the DRV aimed to unify the country under a communist government. South Vietnam, RVN, supported by the United States, South Vietnam was led by various leaders, including Ngo Dinh Diem. It aimed to prevent the spread of communism and maintain a non-communist government. United States. The U.S. became increasingly involved to prevent the spread of communism, initially offering financial and military aid to the RVN and eventually committing troops. Major phases. First Indochina War, 1946-1954. The conflict between the DRV and the French led to the defeat of the French at the Battle of Dien Bien Phu. This resulted in the Geneva Accords, which temporarily divided Vietnam at the 17th parallel, with the North being communist and the South being non-communist. Escalation of U.S. involvement, 1960s. The U.S. began to send military advisors to South Vietnam in the early 1960s. Over time, the American presence grew significantly as the U.S. sought to prevent the spread of communism in Southeast Asia. Gulf of Tonkin Incident, 1964. A disputed naval engagement between U.S. ships and North Vietnamese forces led to the U.S. Congress passing the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which authorized President Lyndon B. Johnson to use military force in Vietnam without a formal declaration of war. Tet Offensive, 1968. The North launched a massive surprise attack on multiple South Vietnamese cities during the Lunar New Year, Tet. While a military failure for the North, it had a significant impact on American public opinion and marked a turning point in the war. U.S. withdrawal and fall of Saigon, 1973-1975. The U.S. gradually reduced its involvement due to domestic opposition. The Paris Peace Accords were signed in 1973, officially ending American military involvement. However, fighting between North and South Vietnam continued. Fall of Saigon, 1975. North Vietnamese forces captured Saigon, the capital of South Vietnam, leading to the reunification of Vietnam under communist rule. This event marked the official end of the war. Aftermath. 1. The war had devastating effects on Vietnam and its people, with millions killed and wounded. 1. It also left the country divided and economically strained. 2. The war deeply impacted American society, leading to protests, social upheaval, and a re-evaluation of U.S. foreign policy. 3. The Vietnam War also contributed to the eventual normalization of U.S.-China relations and the broader Cold War dynamics. The Vietnam War remains a complex and controversial topic with enduring legacies in both Vietnam and the United States. It had significant political, social, and cultural ramifications for all parties involved. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share.